I'm first starting out with eyebrows, and I'm going to be using the Anastasia Dip Brow in Soft Brown. But first I'm going to brush through my eyebrows with a spoolie and then draw the shape of my brows. I'm not going to say every brush I use in this video, but they will be in the description box below with all the products I've been using as well. I'm then taking the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Porcelain and using this with a flat brush to define the shape of my eyebrows and carve them out. I find if you do this step you can be as messy as you want with the brow pomade, and then just make sure you clean it up with the concealer. I'm putting some of the concealer onto my eyelid to make a blank canvas before putting on eyeshadow. To make sure it is set in place, I'm going to use this white shadow from Inglot. As I said, I list the shade number below. This step is essential because it prevents the shadows from creasing. I'm then just grabbing my Real Technique sponge and blending out the edges so I don't look as crazy. And going into my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette and picking up the shade Raw Sienna and putting this into my crease. I'm first placing the eyeshadow on with a more defined, precise brush, and then going into a bigger fluffy brush later on. And then going into the shade Love Letter and putting this where I put Raw Sienna. Like I said, going in with a fluffy brush to blend out any harsh edges to make sure there's a seamless blend between each shadow. I'm further intensifying the eyeshadow by picking up little by little each time to make sure we don't put too much on so it's not as hard to blend. I'm then picking up the shade Real Ga and putting this where I placed Love Letter. I'm going into the Glam Crystals by Collection and using this to create sort of a half cut crease effect. So placing this just above my crease so it doesn't transfer, but not all the way across my crease. So I start really 3/4 of the way. Now it's time for liner, and I'm using the Kat Von D Trooper liner and using this to create a, well, it didn't start off dramatic but ended up a little bit dramatic wing. I'm going into the shade Cypress Umber and using this to just darken up the outer corner of my eye. Now it's time for lashes, and I'm using these used ones from Primer Lash in the style Rio, but as I wait for the glue to dry on those, I'm going to prime my face with the MAC Oil Control Lotion. I applied my lashes off camera, so now I'm going into foundation, which is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in light beige, and I'm applying this with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I apologise in advance because I've only realised now I'm editing this footage that on the face product I'm out of the frame a lot because I was trying to get close up to the mirror to make sure I was actually blending, and you end up not seeing me for half of it, so I apologise. I'm then applying more of the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Porcelain and blending this out with my sponge. To contour, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Chestnut as always and blending this out with my sponge. I'm first placing it in the places you want to contour, like your cheekbones, your forehead and your nose. I've also added into the cupid's bone underneath the lip. I'm now applying powder, which is the Coty A-Spud powder, and I applied that under my eyes and all over my face, but I cut it out because I wasn't even in frame. Now going on to my NYX contour kit and using these two more cool tone shades and applying this with a more like type eye brush because I think you can be more precise, but then when I apply bronzer later, which is my MAC Give Me Sun, I use a more fluffy brush to make sure that I blend out those lines so they're not as harsh as you see here. I'm also going in to the nose and using it to slim the nose down a little bit. The trick with this palette is goes a very long way because these shades are very pigmented and it can go from 0 to 100 real quick. Like I said before, I'm going into my MAC Give Me Sun bronzer with this Real Techniques fluffy brush to blend out those edges and bronze up the face a little bit. Some people don't find it necessary to cream, contour and use powders, but I do, as sometimes when you're building up powders it can kind of take some of your foundation off, where if you have a base it helps blend it out more effectively. Now I'm going into blush, which is the MAC Peaches, and using this with the same brush just on the apples of my cheeks and a little bit on my nose and forehead to warm up the face a little bit. I recently purchased this Inglot Sparkling Dust, I think it's called, and it's so amazing. So I just used some of it on this eye brush with MAC Fix Plus, and applied this to the tops of my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, the bridge of my nose and above my eyebrows. And this is the most pigmented powder ever. What I do is just like put some in the cap that it comes in and dip the brush in, then spray with MAC Fix Plus and then apply it to the face. And once I'm glowing for the gods, I'm going to apply the more MAC Fix Plus and then go into my lower lash line. So I'm starting with basically the same shades as I use on the top lash line. So Raw Sienna first with this Morphe brush, as I said I'll leave it in the description box, and then Love Letter and applying this with the same brush, and then I go into Cypress Umber with a more precise brush, more focusing on the outer corners rather than all the way into the inner corner. Now it's time for my favourite mascara, which is the Double Wear Zero Smudge Mascara by Estee Lauder. I'm coating my top and bottom lashes. I'm now going into Shimmer Shimmer by Makeup Geek and placing this in the inner corners and underneath the brow bone. And now it's time for lips, and I'm using the MAC lip pencil in Boldly Bay, and then the Gerard Cosmetics Hydro Matte liquid lipstick in Madison Avenue. It's now time for setting spray, and I'm using the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day in the scent Peach, which is my absolute favourite. The final look I hope you enjoyed. My next tutorial will be a client tutorial. I just need to get someone to let me film them. I hope you enjoyed, and sorry for the lack of uploads. I'm still in school, so trying to juggle school and trying to do videos, so thanks for watching. Someone wanted to come say hello to the camera. Say hello, Benj. Are you tired? He loves the camera, doesn't he, babe? I also love eating my makeup brushes. You silly boy.